Hello and welcome to the Tomcast. I'm Tom, president and dictator for life of 515comics.com. This week I don't really have a lot of project stuff to talk about, so I thought I would come back to my bookshelf and talk about some books that I haven't read. Because that's cool. Books I want to talk about today are Making Comics and Reinventing Comics, both by Scott McCloud. Now, Making Comics, I think, is sort of like a go-to guide for people who want to learn about the art of making comics or improve on the comics that they're already making. I picked both of these up 4 or 5 years ago, and I've always intended to read them. I've just never really gotten around to doing it. I feel like on the one hand, I'm already making comics, and it's going okay for me, and I've had a lot of personal success in the way that I've gone about making comics. I like that I have made comics sort of on my own, not having any sort of traditional knowledge other than reading a bunch of newspaper comics as a kid, and what I have seen and experienced since I started making my comics. It's kind of cool. It makes me feel like I'm self-made. On the other hand, I feel like reading instructional books like these and others could certainly help me improve. There's always room for improvement. And I want to make sure that I never feel like, oh, well, I can do it better than those guys. I mean, I've never read these books, so I don't know if I can do it better than Scott McCloud. I would say that probably I can't, since I don't have any best-selling books. And I just realized that these are just 2 books. There's actually another one that's referenced on both of these called Understanding Comics, which I have seen many times and not actually purchased. So perhaps I'll have to buy that book and also not read it. I feel like at some point I really should give these a read. Again, because even if I'm not going to start doing things the way that they are presented in this book, I don't think that's really the point. I think a lot of it is just suggestions on how to make a better comic. And I'm always up for making a better comic. My comic is far from perfect. Any of my watchers out there, have you read any of the Scott McCloud series on making comics? Do you have any opinions about that? Did you like them? Were there things that you didn't like? And I guess also, have you ever read any Scott McCloud books? I know that he actually does a lot of comics. I've seen a few before, but I've never actually read them. So I guess, do you like him? Any recommendations? Just wanted to share that with you guys today. Thanks very much for watching. Put those back. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week.